Okay. Got plenty to do here. This is going to get ugly. Whoa, okay, yikes. So hexproof, vigilance, and reach. And that's it. They've seen enough. Ascendant Spirit card I'm fascinated with. It's very fragile, and to build a deck around it, I think, might be a mistake. But there are a number of things you can do with it. So I haven't seen that many decks with Ascendant Spirit. There's a guy on Aether Hub that I spied a deck that was very interesting, looked good. But I have a couple ideas. So I have a Dimir deck brewing as well, and I was working on that one first. But then I just had this idea. Wouldn't this be great in an Azorius deck with a lot of enchantments to kind of throw onto it, and having other really good weapons around it, so it isn't like, oh my God, Ascendant Spirit, I got to get rid of it, but to present bigger problems. So this deck is light on creatures. It has, let's just go take a quick look at the creatures. So we have 3 Alceds, and this can protect some of the other creatures that we have, but also can be a vehicle. It's got lifelink, which is great. It's a 1-drop, which is great. Then we have 3 Ascendant Spirits, 1-drop, can pump it up. We're almost exclusively Snowland, so we can do all the pump stuff with this card. If you don't know what it does, once it's on the board, you can spend 2 snow mana and make it a 2/3 Spirit Warrior. And then the next turn, you could spend 3 snow mana and make it, if it is a warrior, you can make it you have to do this progressively, put a flying counter on it, and it is a warrior. It becomes an Spirit Warrior Angel with a base power and toughness of 4/4. Then the last evolution, which you can do multiple times, you can spend 4 snow mana, and if it is an angel, put 2/1/1 counters on it, and it gains whenever this creature deals damage to a target player, draw 1 card. Okay? So, in this particular deck, you may not ever use the third development here with the 4 snow mana, or you can use it just to add 1/1 counters. There are other ways it can gain flying and gain draw a card, but it is a great card. And so that's one. Those are 2 creatures. I don't want to get too off track here. I have 4 Core Blade Master. This is perfect card for equipment. It's got double strike. It's 2-drop. It is just a 1/1. Again, fragile, but we have 4 of those in here. Then we have 2 Skyclave Apparitions, and this is probably not going to be a vehicle for equipment, although you never know. You might be in a pinch to, get some creatures, and there are times, I will tell you, in this deck that you're like, whoa, where are the creatures? Come on, I need one. But I think it's got a good balance, and it's been really effective. The win rate has been very high. I haven't kept exact tibs on it, but I believe it's probably in the 70% win rate so far, 60 to 70%. So I would say leaning towards 70. Now, Crystalline Giant I have not seen used in this role a lot. But this is kind of the perfect card for this deck, and it is actually the scariest creature in this deck for the purpose of adding equipment to, because it is essentially adding equipment to itself every turn anyway. So if you put Sentinel's Eyes on it and give it a +1 and Vigilance, then it won't put that Vigilant counter on. It'll put a different one, and so on. So, but this thing just gets crazy quick. You're bumping it up. If they can't remove it right away, they got a big problem. Eventually, they get hexproof. It'll get vigilance. It'll get a 1/1 counter, and so on and so on. But we're going to be throwing equipment on it, which is going to make it big. So, your lightning strike type of 3-drop, 4-drop red spells aren't going to take it off unless they get it off quick. So yeah, great creature. So then we just have one single other creature, and it is Solemn Simulacrum. And this, of course, is not something we want to put equipment on unless, again, like Skyclave Apparition, you're in a pinch. So it's a 2/2 colorless, costs 4-drop, but you can go get a basic land with it, which is really helpful at times because you can, like any deck that's multicolored, you can be stuck with one color, and this is one way out of that. It also has the feature of draw. When it dies, you draw a card, so that is also fabulous. So it's a great value. Gets you a land. It's a body. When it dies, you draw a card. Can't really beat that. And it is the highest mana cost spell, with one exception, in the deck. So let's go back now and let's look at the equipment. And well, let's do a quick head count of creatures. 6, 10, 13, 16, 17, and then we have Glasspool Mimic. So this is another one that you can make a duplication of a Crystalline Giant, of an Ascendant Spirit, whatever. So we have this in here. It also serves as land if you need it, which is really good. And I have a white card in here as well that serves as land and another thing, and I'll get to that eventually. But so you have 17 creatures and Glasspool Mimic. So it's not way light, but they're fragile, so it does make it feel like you're more you're in a bind as well. In a real pinch late game, say you have 7-8 mana and you have Faceless Haven on, you can also bring this on as a creature and throw equipment on it for one turn. You could end a game that way. Unlikely, but there it is. So now let's take a quick look at the equipment. We have 3 Sentinel's Eyes, adds +1/+1, and Vigilance. You can also escape it by exiling 2 other cards from your graveyard, so it's reusable. It's awesome. It's a great card. All That Glitters, we know this is just a major powerhouse. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact or enchantment you control. Now that includes Alced, which is an enchantment creature. So yeah, you can have a ton of enchantments going on the board, and this thing makes things huge. Then we have Staggering Insight, and this is one of the powerhouses in the deck. We have 3 of these in here. It's 1 blue, 1 white mana to cast. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has lifelink. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Okay, hugely valuable having both of those all 3 of those attributes of +1/+1, lifelink, and draw a card. All huge things in being sustainable in a deck, right there within this card. Then we have 2 Maul of the Skyclaves, and this and it attaches. So 3, you bring it on, it attaches. You get flying and +2/+2 and first strike. Okay, so first strike, not such a big deal, of course, on Core Blade Master. You already have double strike; it's meaningless, but you get the flying and +2/+2. It's a great card. So 2 of those, and that is it. So we have 3, 7, 10, 12 equipment. 12 equipment, not an enormous amount, but I think it's enough. You get much higher than that, and you're going to be searching for creatures. You're going to be like, oh damn, I'm out of the game. Even with this deck, once in a while you have that phenomenon where you can't get it. You put a creature or 2 on, they're killed. You can't get another one for a while. Game's over by the time you get one. So yeah, it's 12 equipment. Now we have some removal. We have Banishing Light. So 4 of these in the deck. A super important card in this deck. Something, don't waste it on small stuff. Get rid of the bigger problems with Banishing Light. And it's a 3-drop, only requires 1 white mana to cast. So this is the kind of card you want in this kind of deck. In addition to that, we have the 2 Skyclave Apparitions doing double duty here. It's a 2/2 creature. So You can exile a target non-land permanent, so that's also important. A pesky enchantment or artifact, or smaller planeswalker, or saga. You can get rid of any of that stuff if its mana cost is 4 or less. It becomes exiled by and held under Skyclave Apparition, and when Skyclave Apparition dies, um, the opponent gets a blue illusion basic token creature that has XX power and toughness, where X is the converted mana cost of the exiled creature. So they just get this ultra basic card um, if they're able to kill Skyclave. All right, so and then we have the biggie. So that's 6 removal so far. These 6 with exile. And then we have a Doomscar, and this is a great card for 2 reasons. One, it destroys all creatures. We're light creatures, we don't necessarily care about them at times, or say we're slow getting them on the board. You can toss this in Foretell. So you can pay 2 mana, and then later on pay the 1 and 2 whites, and wipe the board clean of creatures. So this is great to have this one card in here. And it does come up more than you would think, because we do have some card draw built into this deck, which I'll just kind of highlight next. So again, 1 Doomscar. So you have the 6 exile and then the 1 Doomscar. So a reasonable amount of removal, frankly. So then beyond that, card draw. So we have the obvious card draw if you get Ascendant Spirit up to its 3rd development, where it's an angel with 2. It's a 6/6 angel with whenever it deals combat damage, you draw a card. You have that. Then you have the opportunity with 3 of these enchantments to put this on, and when that creature does damage, draw a card. If you put this on Spirit and it's fully developed, you draw 2 cards. Then we have a single Revitalize in here, gain 3 life, draw a card. Just a kind of emergency valve item. And then we have 2 Thirst for Meaning. So this is a card that really is well suited for this deck. Draw 3 cards, then discard 2, unless you discard an enchantment. And you know we have a dozen enchantments in here, not counting Alced, so 15 really. And so you can really, ditching an enchantment like Sentinel's Eyes, which is just going to be available to you through exiling 2 creatures anyway. It's a perfect card to discard. Then you can, it's a 3-drop for 3 cards. It's an amazing value, especially in an enchantment deck, obviously. So perfect. So you have 2 of those. So once again, we have Ascendant Spirit can get you there. Creatures with Staggering Insight can get you there. And Thirst for Meaning can get you there. In addition, of course, Solemn Simulacrum, when it dies, can get you there. So a reasonable amount of card draw in this deck. Okay, so, oh yeah, and then what I didn't mention is Confounding Conundrum. Now this isn't here specifically. It's a card draw. Yep, there's 1 of them in here. It does draw a card, but it also keeps those green, and another color, you know, that, what is the card that's kind of escaping me right now, that you get to pick up 2 lands. You can't put more than 1 land on the board, or those landfall decks where you're dropping Fabled Passage and Evolving Wild, and because you try to put that card on a second time, you cannot do it. You can only put 1 land card on a turn. So any of those mechanisms that allow you to put additional lands on, Risen Reef, there's a ton of things that allow you to put a second land on. This does not allow that. So it's kind of handy. Guess what else, though, is a second benefit to having this card in the deck? It's an enchantment. So when you're dropping All That Glitters, it's just 1 more enchantment that's adding yet another 1/1 counter to the creature that is on here. And this also works with artifacts, by the way. So the Crystalline Giant also buffs up All That Glitters. Okay, so all of these little things contribute to this synergy that makes this a very potent deck. And I've I've already recorded the games I'm going to show you, and it really shows off how powerful this deck is. And you're probably looking at it and going, well, where are the creatures? How is this going to stand up to green and whatnot? But it does. So I just want one more thing, one more element to this deck is protecting the creatures that you have. I already mentioned Alced, which you can sack for one, pay 1 mana and sack it at any time and give another creature or enchantment protection from the color of choice until end of turn. So there's protection, 3 of those. Then we have a single Starlit Mantle, which gives a creature hexproof until end of turn and a permanent 1/1 counter, a 2-drop. So that's a fabulous card. Just one of those in here. And that's it. So we have a total of 4 possible protection from creatures. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed one. 5. Sajiri. So this is the other dual card that gives us land. We have 1 blue card that does this and 1 white card that does this. So we have 2 additional lands potentially available to us. But if you play this as the instant, target creature gains protection from color of your choice until end of turn. So, pardon me, 5 cards that provide protection. All right. So I think I already mentioned Faceless Haven. This can become a creature, which is great. But quick look at these lands. We have 1 Castle Ardenvale. You have this in here just because, hey, fragile creatures. I have used this and it has saved me in a game or two. Create a creature token. Snow-covered plains. You can attach, equipment to a token. 7 snow-covered plains. 6 snow-covered islands. 4 glacial floodplain, the dual snowland. Comes in tapped, but two lands. We want enough blue and white, so we have 5 total. I added a Temple of Enlightenment. I did not have one of the pathways. That is Azorius. So, bummer. But I just don't have the wild cards to spend on that as I'm trying to pump out decks. So you could add one of those in here. You could add 2 of those and ditch Faceless Haven if you chose, if you wanted more consistent land. But these are all snow lands except for Castle Ardenvale. So there is advantage to that because it allows you to consistently be able to pump Ascendant Spirit. And it's nice to have an additional creature to bring off the bench. So that's the deck. If you have the cards or you're close, it's worth building. Check out the games. Hey, please hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it if you're willing to do that. Check out my other decks. I'm cranking out decks like crazy. Just launched a kind of a Minotaur deck that has other synergies, is super potent. Just launched. So, yeah, check them out. I have 4 different Turgid decks at this point, and I have other things in the works. So, I tend to post videos every day except for Tuesday and Thursday. Sometimes I double up. Sometimes I'll post a deck on those days, but usually a minimum of 5 decks a week. So committed to Kaldheim enhanced decks and standard right now. So I hope you enjoy this. Thanks again for watching. Have a great one. Okay, not the best land draw here, but we got some hope. We got Alced we can get on right away, and then hopefully we can get the Crystalline Giant on quickly. So we'll take it. Going first is great too. Alright, no blue mana. And yeah, I don't think we're going to spend that yet. Okay, got some black going on here. And we got the blue mana, which is great. We'll throw Crystalline Giant on, and they may remove it right away if they're able to with an Eliminate or something. Oh, Essence Scatter. Not happy about that. Alright. I guess we're going to commit to Alced for now. We do have this hexproof spell in hand here for it. They may have a counterspell and they're debating whether it's a good use of it, and they do use it. We'll let them do that and come on in. It's available through exile anyway. And I think I'm going to spend it. Okay. And they may remove Alced. Looking for a land here to bring out Solemn Simulacrum. Okay. Alright, tough choice here. I think we're going to give it a shot. Probably won't make it happen. Ooh, we get a card draw out of it, so it does work. We are vigilant. Still looking for another land. And they don't take any action here, and what we're going to do is come in with Alced, see if we can force their hand here. They do nothing. And we draw a land, which is great. And then we're going to throw up Solemn Simulacrum. We'll hold on to Crystalline Giant. Okay, Essence Scatter, that's fine. 5 lands, 4 cards in hand. 6 lands, 3 cards in hand. I think it's just come on in here, and if they make a move on them, we have Starlit Mantle. Okay, that's unfortunate. We'll let that go. And we'll hit it with Vanishing Light. Okay. Well, I'm going to throw up Crystalline Giant. Getting thin on our creatures here, which we have a limited supply of anyway. I'm expecting a counterspell, Drown the Lock, or something. Okay. And that is very bad news for us. We do have a ton of life, though, as Alced did some good work early. We have 2 Banishing Lights available, 1 land shy for that, but let's see what we get. Okay. Well, we're going to take a chance with the Skyclave. I'm sure it'll be countered. We're in some deep trouble at this point. And we'll throw up land with Glass Pool, which will give us 2 Banishing Lights next turn. Okay. Alright, more land, that is good. We are going to need a creature though. Expect a counter here. Okay, they let that go. They may have a means of getting rid of Banishing Light. But we're well stocked with Banishing Lights. Okay, another one. And that's bad news. Again, we have 2 Banishing Lights, so they can counter. I doubt that they have 2 counter spells. Okay. How many more of those can they have? We're looking for a creature here. This is a very challenging Dimir rogues, and this isn't classic rogues exactly, for sure. But Dimir, this is proving challenging. Another thing that kind of like aggro mono red is very hard with this deck as well. Unless we get the right combination of things, but usually they have kill spells. Okay, I don't expect this to last, but we do have the Starlit Mantle to protect it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and bump it up and keep the Starlit Mantle handy. Yeah, I'm afraid not today. Do they have another kill spell? This could be the creature we need here. It's going to be a 3/4, and we can pay for that. Kind of a waste of a spell there. And it is their turn. They may be able to eliminate it, but they're running lead on cards, and we still have a Banishing Light, so we're not out of this game. We're going to keep it right there. Okay. We can create a token with Castle Ardenvale if we have to. And we have Vanishing Light, so we're just going to stay put here. The Extinction Event, that is a major bummer. Great card for the moment. Okay, and we do have 2 Maul of the Skyclaves and 1 Vanishing Light, so this is exactly why Castle Ardenvale is in this deck. Okay, they've got 2 cards. Question is, what do they have? Okay. We'll give it a try here. Okay. They have one card in hand here. They can use Cling to Dust. They have enough in there, I think. Let's see, 5 other cards. They can't use Cling to Dust right now, so that's why they haven't used it. So they have one card in hand here. They're scrying, and which leaves them very little for mana at this point. You can create another token. Okay, 2 cards, full up mana. We'll create another token on the way out the door here. Okay, so now we have protection from a color of choice. So we're going to give Skyclaves a try. I expect there to be a problem here. Creature, only creature gains control, so they're going to get that back. Okay. We'll be able to take it immediately. Unless they have another counter spell. But I got that Banishing Light back in hand, so... They have a counter spell for that. And they're running out of cards. We got to give it another try right away. I can't imagine they have another counterspell, but anything is possible. We don't have any mana. Okay, and that's the game, folks. Excellent. Buff, Ascendant Spirit, turn 2. We go first, so I feel because I'm going first, we got to go with this and hope we get white land. Okay, no go. We'll hope again, but we buff and come in and hit. Need a land here. White would be perfect. Okay, that's too bad. Now I'm screwed. Okay, no longer screwed. Okay, super good news here. Alcid. See if we get a counter spell here. Don't. All that glitters. And it's on. Okay, that's really excellent. So we have protection for a core. Blade Master here. They come in and do 6 damage. Okay, they get their hands full as we have Alcid for protection and Banishing Light. Okay, they've got a problem here. Big time. See what they got to play here. Yeah, sorry about that, but no. Alright. Oh, wow. Okay, so now they could take me out with Kill Spell, but they're going to be down to 4, and we are rich in product, and we have another Blade Master, and now protection in hand for core Blade Master again with Sajiri. This is really a nice deck with good synergies and just the right amount of protections. Let's see what we are playing against here. Good game indeed. We'll give it a shot here. That could be misleading. Here we go. And let's just say no. We're going to throw the Ascendant Spirit up because we have other tools. We're vulnerable to a kill spell now. Okay, and that will exile the core. But we can come in and kill the Planeswalker. In fact, we can go get the Planeswalker and buff, and next turn make this flying. Or bring the core in. Anyway, we have a Banishing Light and can do both of these next turn if need be. Okay. Okay, there it is. I hope you enjoyed this. Please consider hitting the subscribe button. If there's any decks you're interested in me building, let me know. I'll consider it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great one.